Does your high schooler feel like there just aren't enough hours in the day? For students juggling classes, sports, clubs, and hopefully a social life too, it can be pretty overwhelming. Let's talk about how we can change that. In this video, we'll be going over some time management hacks that are absolute game changers for high school students. Let's talk about the most important hack first, prioritization. And what I just did there is the perfect example of prioritization, putting the most important things first and the secondary things second. Not all tasks are created equal. If you have a math test that's worth half of your grade for the whole year, that's probably a bit more important than the art homework that the teacher's not even gonna collect. The trick is to list out all the things that you have to do and then rank them in order of most important down to least important. And then you just do the most important ones first. It sounds really obvious, but a lot of students just don't know how to do this. For example, one of my students named Sarah was recently swamped with upcoming tests, homework, ACT prep, and volleyball practice. So what we did is we just took 5 minutes, we made a list, and we highlighted all the most important stuff that needed immediate attention. Just by visually rearranging her priorities and focusing on the big stuff first, she found multiple extra hours that she had no idea were there. So don't let your obligations overwhelm you. Prioritize your to-do list and you'll find that things get a lot more manageable. You might even find that you have a bunch of extra time to just sit there and mindlessly scroll social media. And this leads us into our second time hack, using a calendar. I know, you've heard it before and it sounds boring and a waste of time, but trust me, keeping a planner or using a calendar of some kind isn't just about keeping track of dates. It's about visually organizing your time so you know where every minute of your day is spent. Take a regular calendar or a calendar app of some kind and start blocking out time for each activity you have. Include your study sessions, your extracurriculars, and yes, even that time we were just gonna sit there and mindlessly scroll Instagram. When you see it all laid out on a calendar, you see exactly how much time you have and where all of it's going. And of course, when you're planning all of this time out, you should go in order of the highest priority activities first, which you've already identified because you listened and followed hack number 1. This isn't just about high school, it's a life skill. Master this and you're setting yourself up for success in college and even beyond college. Plus, it feels really satisfying to just look back at the calendar at the end of the week and see how much stuff you actually did. Next up, we have to talk about the power of saying no. This might be tough, but it's absolutely critical. It's impossible to do everything, and trying to is just going to lead to burnout. It's okay to just say no to things that don't line up with your priorities or just take up too much of your valuable time. Remember when I mentioned Sarah? Well, she was also part of 3 different clubs. We figured out that she was really passionate about the Red Cross Club, but she was just in the French club and the chess club because she thought that it was going to make her college resume look more well-rounded. She ended up dropping those 2 clubs and she ended up with way more time for what actually mattered to her. Learning to just say no is one of the most important lessons out there. I absolutely hate wasting my time. And for me, learning to just say no to things that are lower priority is an absolute game changer. Finally, your student's going to hate me for this one, but we have to talk about cutting down on distractions. Specifically from these things right here. In a world where our phones are more addicting than ever, it's super easy to get distracted when we're supposed to be doing something important. The fix? Turn on work mode or focus mode on your phone. You know when those notifications pop up on your phone and you look down for 1 second and you look back up and 30 minutes has gone by and you have no idea what happened to that 30 minutes? Yeah, that's what work mode and focus mode can help you avoid. Another trick that can help you out: turn your phone on black and white mode. It might seem crazy at first, but getting rid of the bright colors on your phone makes it so much less addicting. One study even found that it cuts screen time by up to an hour a day. If you want to know how to do this on your iPhone, go into your settings, search for color filters, and then click on the grayscale button. Let's look at another student of mine. His name is James. His phone would vibrate in the middle of him studying, and all of a sudden he'd be on TikTok for 30 minutes and not even realize it. So I encouraged him to just try out turning on both focus mode and grayscale during his study hours. The result? He now finishes his work fast enough that he's found time to start watching Yellowstone. By getting rid of these distractions, you're not just saving time, you're also making the time that you spend studying much more effective. This is about training your brain to focus up when it matters, which is a skill that's going to pay off big time when you have to focus for 3 hours in a row on the ACT, and just generally in your life when you have to focus on anything. Trust me, your future self is going to thank you for this one. To recap, prioritize your tasks, get familiar with the calendar system, say no when needed, and cut down on those dumb distractions. Follow these 4 steps, and I can guarantee that you'll have less stress and more free time. Do you have any cool time management hacks that I didn't mention? Share them down below for both me and your fellow students.